So, you want to make 100x gains? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I got you. But we got to start with a fair warning here, dudes. This is risky, this is speculative, and this is not advised for 100% of your crypto bag. Let me explain. So we can all agree as a small investor, you ain't going to get rich off Bitcoin or ETH, in my opinion, in the next few years. Heck, even the next 5 years. But if you want to just invest in Bitcoin and ETH, that's fine. I'm with that. But I truly believe you should have a smaller bag in lower cap alts, simply because you have a lot of catching up to do before the next run. You see, you can't get rich off Bitcoin anymore if you have less than 100k, in my opinion. Realistically, what can Bitcoin do in the next 5 years? Double, triple, 5x, 10x? Regardless, you ain't retiring a millionaire with those returns as a small investor. So we have to go in deeper. The beautiful thing about finding low caps gems is we're able to come in here with much lower capital, bank profit, and get out. That is the goal here. We do not hold these if we're sitting on a 10, 20, heck 30x. We're scaling out, back into cash or bank some Bitcoin. The problem a lot of people do here is once they have that 20, 30x, they get greedy and they try and get an extra 2, 3x. This is dumb. Get the F out and move on, because you don't want to be that guy at the family reunion that had a bunch of money, got greedy, held on, then watch his bag get absolutely destroyed. So before we dive in deeper here, let me give you an example of why the HODL method doesn't work for getting rich with a low amount of money. So here's Bob. He's a crypto noob. We've all been Bob. I've been Bob. Heck, you might be Bob right now. That's okay. We all go through this stage. What does Bob do? Well, he's got $1,000 and he buys Bitcoin at 60k and just leaves it. He's been told Bitcoin is going to 100k this year, and that's fine. It might do. But guess what? He doesn't even walk away with 2k if that best case scenario happens. Hardly rich, right? So what happens? Well, it starts to plummet. It smashes 40k, then 30k, then 20k, and he panics. Bob needs the money. He sells, and he has less than $500 left. Bob will never enter crypto again. He has a bad taste in his mouth, and he tells everyone crypto is a scam. This is most people. Most people lose money, and unfortunately, that has to happen for us to make money. No two sides can both make money. It doesn't work like that. So as long as you understand this before going in and accept it, you will be one of the ones that make it, because you don't have to be a genius here. So the first thing we must establish here is, this is not like investing in a stock or company. A lot of Bobs get this wrong. They think that they must hold whatever they buy long term and hodl this all the way, and they feel bad because they don't have those diamond hands. This is a problem. There used to be huge hype behind two metaverse coins, the Sandbox and Decentralized Mana. Huge hype here. The problem was the run was already over. The Sandbox had a 10x in a month, and Mana a 5 to 6x in the same time. Looking at the price of these now, all those gains have been wiped out for the people that held this all the way up and then all the way down. The smart people were slowly scaling out, banking cash or moving to a new coin to do the same. Now these two could come back in the next run, sure, but why not bank cash when you're up a 10x and move on? Think about it. 10k in the bank, 100k with that 10x. You do that again of a 10x, you're literally a millionaire in 2 trades. That's the difference. So the next thing we need to discuss is, most of these projects won't be around in the next run. Most will fail and most will never be seen ever again. Most projects don't work, and the gains from the pump simply come from people trading on hype, emotion, and hopium. This is another thing you must understand, and if you can accept this, it's going to be much easier selling at a 10x, rolling it over to the next project, because a lot of the people hold on to their favorite coin like it's their first child. Cardano, XRP, Solana, Luna, which is obviously dead now. But the problem here is, yet again, you're buying ADA for example at $2 to $3 in the hope it might go to 10, and it might very well do that in 3 to 5 years. Great, but you're stuck there holding the bag at a huge loss now. Solana, you might be DCing in at 150 to 200. Things at $50 now. You were buying all the hype and FOMO while others were rolling over, banking cash, and finding the next one. You see the difference now? Two sides. One wins and one loses. So how do we know when to buy something that's about to pump? Well, there's not a 100% way to know. That's why we spread our bets into different coins when we think it's time to make an educated guess. We're not going 100% into one coin and just hoping it goes up. So what you will notice, or you'll start to notice if you're brand new, is Bitcoin controls the market. Now, this is very powerful because now we know where to place our bets. So let me give you an example. October, November 2020, Bitcoin starts to move violently to the upside. What you see next was Ethereum lag by a month or so, then move. Then we got our smaller caps go for it. For example, ADA rallied in January, Feb time, and it kept going. Then pretty much all microcaps followed. So what can we learn from this? Well, once we see Bitcoin start to go, Ethereum will likely go soon after. Then we get that lag of the small caps rally, and you can pretty much place bets on most of them and start getting your 10x's and rolling over. The key point here is being early, because you don't get long before it's too late, because at this point the masses are buying at the peaks, and all you're doing is selling to them and dumping. Now this works the same if Bitcoin starts to dump. It will go first, then Ethereum likely will follow it, then small caps will get wrecked. And I mean wrecked. But you're already out at this point. You're chilling. So again, let's look at Bitcoin to give you the clearest view possible. Because all these pumps and dumps come in waves, and all you need to do is be able to spot them, ride them up, and then dump them. So the first wave was 2020 till April 2021, where Bitcoin peaked out at 64k. We had that massive crash, alts followed. July, August we started to move again, all the way up to 69k, topping out about November time, before the crash that we're still in just now, that's potentially settling and preparing for the next wave. Now remember, you're not buying Bitcoin at these waves, because at best case scenario, even if you timed this perfectly, all you're doing is banking a 2x. You're not getting rich off that, so you're looking for alts that are gearing up to rally, and we're riding 5 to 10x's possibly in smaller caps. The key point here is we're not getting greedy and we're banking as much as possible. So now we need to talk about selling, because I see a lot of people doing the hard part of getting the 5 to 10x's, but don't know how to exit. Gala Games was a coin I read for a 9x, but it was near a 5 to 6x when all said was done, because I didn't time this perfectly and I was scaling out during the initial pump. So getting in at about 8 cents and its peak was just over 70, but trying to sell the full bag at 70 cents is stupid. No one is going to time this perfectly, and bear in mind this was a 9x in just over a week. So you had to be super fast with this. So I took my first chunk out about the 35 cents mark, and then the next chunk just over 50 cents, and fully exited by 65 cents, because trying to bank another 2 to 3x, risking the full trade, is stupid. The money was already banked, and we move on. So you want to start scaling out chunk after chunk. This guarantees you to at least make profit if it starts to dump faster than you think. So that being said, it's crucial, like I said at the very start, that you understand there's only 2 players to this game. Bob, who loses, and hopefully you that took these tips and tricks and you win. Now if you want to take your crypto investing to the next level, you're going to want to watch this video here that stops 90% of investors getting rich.